Support for this program is provided in part by Guido's Fresh Marketplace. Welcome to The Natural Cook. I'm Anna Gershenson. Today we are going to be cooking something very, very special. Spring is here, and after a winter of hibernation, of eating heavy foods, not moving enough, and inundating your body with all kinds of toxins, we are ready for cleansing. And so the soup that we are making today is deep cleansing soup. It came again from the book by Sarah Britton, Nutritionally Nourished, but I'm very excited to share it with you. I added my own little touch to it, and let's start. So the ingredients that go into this soup are sweet potatoes, onions, garlic, spinach, and cilantro. And cilantro, of course, is very cleansing and detoxifying. So what we are going to start with is chopping our onions. So one onion is peeled. We're going to have two medium size onions, and I'm going to peel another one. You're of course very familiar with how to peel an onion. Sometimes behind this outer skin, especially at the end of the winter when onions already have been stored for a while, you have another layer which is not so palatable. So you're welcome to peel it. However, remember that you don't have to if it's good, because the closer the skin is to the onion, the more nutrients there are. And so we are going to be I see that this one also is not looking so pretty, so I'm going to take it off. Okay. So my favorite method, of course, is just going on a bias and having a sharp knife and then just pushing it in. And you can make it, your slices as wide or as narrow as you want, because this is going to be cooking. It's not going to go into salad, so you can have it in a larger dice if you are in a rush and you want something to cook faster. Then you want to make a smaller dice, because naturally whatever is smaller will cook faster. So let's start warming up our pan, and just a word of caution that when you are using olive oil is a wonderful oil to use. It has monosaturated fats and is very desirable in your diet. However, if you are overheated, then you create components in it that really are toxic to your body. So that's why I don't like it, when I'm reading restaurant recipes and they say to you, heat the olive oil until smoking. Well, smoking is going to be smoking in your body as well. So I try to cook with fat that can be heated to high smoking point, which is like grapeseed oil or peanut oil, for example, or coconut oil is not really changing with heat. So make sure that when you are adding olive oil, and we'll add about a tablespoon of olive oil here, that it really doesn't go into an overheated pan. Okay, so then I'll put the bottle away, because olive oil should be stored in dark bottles and away from heat, because it deteriorates very quickly. And now I will add my onion here. All right, I'll add a little more heat, because I want to hear that it's hot enough, and when it's hot enough, you will hear the sizzle. That's a characteristic sound. And then I'll chop another onion. I love adding onions, especially to vegetarian soups that are made with stock. I mean, not with stock, but with water, because you want everything to be flavorful. And of course, there is no other like really flavoring agent like onion or garlic, which is also going into this soup. Okay, now I hear something happening. And I'll add more onion. And I also will add some salt. And as I always advocate, salt is something that is really a great idea to add to your food as you are cooking, because it penetrates the food, it flavors it, it does its magic, and it really creates flavor as you go. Okay, now I can hear the sizzling, so I'll be watching to make sure that the heat is not too high. And sometimes if you feel that, you see that you need more fat, but you want to avoid adding more fat, all you have to do is just add a splash of water. And you are not going to have too much fat there, although it's not like we should be afraid of good fat. And in these dishes that I'm making for you, we only have good fat. All right, so let's stir it to get it cooking. And you want the onions to be softened and to see that they're becoming translucent. And now we are going to onto our garlic, just smashing it to release the skin. And then it will be really easy to just peel it off. Even my little grandniece, who is 4, had fun doing it. Of course, I was smashing it for her, but then when she saw me smashing it, then even though I already smashed it, she was still doing it with her little hand, which was so, so adorable. As you know, little kids are excited, enthusiastic about participating in all kinds of chores and helping out. So take advantage of it and do it like I did with little Ella. Okay, so you can chop your garlic, or you can just smash it again. And this way you are going to flatten it. And then it will be very easy to just kind of chop it. Because once you have flattened it, all you do is just go with your knife, chop, 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 and it's done. And as you can see, I'm putting like 4 or 5 garlic cloves, which is a hefty amount. That also will be wonderful in flavoring the soup, as I said. And of course, all these vegetables have wonderful nutritional qualities and very good for you. So include them into your diet as much as you can, like as many plant foods as you can, include into your diet and enjoy it. Because plant food has plenty of protein, unlike many myths that are out there that you need to eat a lot of meat to have protein or anything animal-based. Plants are very, very high in protein content, and as you know, in the animal world, there are a lot of animals whose diet only consists of plants. All right. So at this point, we can add our garlic. And then we will go on to peeling our sweet potatoes. And sweet potatoes, unlike white potatoes, are really nothing to be, flimsy about eating and including in your diet. They are very, very high in nutrition. They are high in fiber. They have beta-carotenes. They have a lot of minerals and vitamins. So they are good for many, many organs in your body. So we will peel our sweet potatoes because the skin is pretty tough. And so unless you are baking it, you really want to remove the skin. And as you see, it's nice orange color, vibrant. And so our soup will be this combination of wonderful oranges and greens, which is what better colors than that to include into your body and feed yourself. And this grater, I find that this grater is really wonderful for peeling sweet potatoes. It's much better than our regular peeler. I mean this peeler, not grater. Okay, so let's see what's happening. We don't want our onion or garlic to burn because the flavor changes. Garlic becomes bitter and onion will not be as soft and mellow. And we will cut potatoes into 1-inch cubes, and you want to have like 2 medium large potatoes that will go into it. We can peel another one, and in the meantime, what I also did, and I recommend for you to do it, is that when I'm working with soup and I'm going to be adding any kind of, either chicken broth, any kind of liquid, vegetable broth or water, I always prep it in advance. As I mentioned before, at home I have an electric kettle, and I would boil that water to have it ready so that once everything goes into the pot, that it doesn't deter it from cooking, and also it does not, it speeds up the preparation time because you don't have time to spare really. You want to get it out of the way as quickly as possible. And so my water is already waiting for me. So I'm going to pour it into the pot. Okay. And then, this is 3 cups of water. I might need to add more, or I will, I'll increase the heat now to bring it to boil faster. And I will also add a little more salt. So now we are going to chop it quickly into 1-inch cubes. So this is about 1 inch. And then we'll bring it quickly to boil. All right, let's add this. Okay, you want something that helps you move it faster, so it's very convenient to have a bench scraper that you use in baking. Very convenient to use in something like that to pick up your vegetables, and try to make your cubes equal size so that they would cook at the same speed. Okay, so let's take this and transfer to our pot. All right, so the water is boiling merrily. All we need to do is just cook this, and when the potatoes are soft, and by the way, sweet potatoes cook pretty fast. Once they are soft, then we will proceed with putting them into a blender and pureeing them and adding spinach as well as cilantro. And by the way, this soup really reminds me of the soup that I made not that long ago, my own recipe, where I was cooking potatoes and again going through the same process of adding sauteing onions and garlic for flavor and cooking potatoes, and then adding broccoli and spinach and basil. Okay, so let's add a little more salt. Make sure that you don't put too much. You can always add more. All right, let's cover it and let it simmer. And in the meantime, we are going to move on to our next dish, which is avocado toast. Avocado toast is really a very popular dish nowadays, and it's kind of a little bit surprising. I'm glad that avocado is in such a vogue because it's an amazing fruit that is so good for you, and that is actually kind of like in superfood category because there are so many good nutrients that are good for your body. So first of all, when you buy an avocado, I usually like buying an avocado that when it's totally hard, you know. I like to think in advance and not to have to be caught at the moment where, oh, I need it today, because once you buy it in the supermarket and it's already soft, then you open it and you really don't know whether it is black inside already, like at what stage of ripeness it is, whether it's rotting. So I try to buy something which is like feels hefty in my hand, and then it's for ripening, it wouldn't take like more than 2-3 days. And if you want to speed it up, you can put it into a bag together with your bananas. That will speed it up ripening. And then you just press it a little bit here at the tip, and if it yields, then you know that your avocado is ready. And once it is ready, then you move it into the refrigerator, and then it stays there. You know, it can stay there like for good 5 days. So that's a very handy thing to know. And then you can just, you know, you can, first of all, people think that you only eat it in savory dishes, but it is really a wonderful dish to make a dessert out of. In one of my episodes, I made a chocolate mousse, and it's so simple because all you do is just combine either melted chocolate or cocoa powder and maybe a little maple syrup and avocado, and your dessert is ready. So on avocado toast, I like using sourdough whole grain bread, and here it is a sesame bread. And so the thing is that you can either eat it plain, or you can just put anything over it or combine it with anything you want. Like for example, today I brought some arugula and I brought some pea shoots, so you can just put them on top. And I also brought gamasio, which is a sesame salt that we made on our last episode. So you make it by just toasting the sesame seeds, making sure that they are nice and toasty, and then you can put it into the food processor together with like 2 cups of seeds, 1.5 teaspoons of nice sea salt, and then you process until some of the seeds get crushed and other seeds stay still intact. And then you can sprinkle it, like today we will be sprinkling it on avocado. So then when you are ready to handle your avocado, then you just go along with a paring knife. That's the most convenient knife to use when you are cutting it open. And then you twist it like that, and you see beautiful green flesh. And this is definitely hasn't been spoiled or anything. And then you will take your knife, and don't be afraid, and you will just whack it into the pit in the middle, like that. Okay? Then you hold it in your hand, and you twist it gently, and then you release it. And then you can release the pit from your knife, and it falls off, and you are all set to go. So from here, like for example, if you are ready to use just half of avocado and you want to save the other half for another day, because it darkens so quickly, so what you want to do is you want to keep the pit in there, because it really protects it from darkening. And also you can sprinkle some lemon juice, because acid also prevents our fruit from darkening. So now all you do is just cut it into these slices, and you can slice it as thin or thick as you want. and then you will pile them on top of your toast, and then you can smash it a little bit. So now we need a spoon. I'll take another spoon here, and it's very convenient just to spoon it out and make sure that you scrape the inside, because the closer you come in any vegetable or fruit, the closer you come to the skin, the more nutrients. And most nutrients, of course, are in the skin, but we are not going to eat avocado skin. So let's put it here, and then we'll take a fork and release it onto our toast, so we can actually use one avocado to make 3 toasts. So let's put it here. Okay. And move this here and scoop another one and put onto this toast. All right. Okay. And by the way, when I'm saving the half avocado for the next day, I never throw out this. This is like a cover that I put together, and then I put it into a baggie, and you are ready to put it in the refrigerator for next use. But don't wait too long, because it will go bad on you. Okay, so just smash it. With this toast, I refreshed it a little bit. I just put a little bit of olive oil and prepared kind of like a bruschetta. You want to have it a little crispy. It will help the flavor. Okay. And now, all you need to do is just put whatever topping you want. You can cut it into, like here. You can eat it fresh. I mean plain, just like that. It's really delicious. You can drizzle some olive oil. You can drizzle some lemon juice. You can sprinkle this gamasio. I actually like sprinkling olive oil on greens. So let's chop these pea shoots. It will be easier to eat them when they are chopped. Okay. And more gamasio. And then you can cut them into smaller pieces if you want to for serving. So we have our wonderful toast. Okay. So everything is glistening with olive oil. All right, so let's put it here, and we'll try it later. In the meantime, let's turn back to our soup. Okay. All right, let's check what's happening here. Okay, well, I see already by the color of the potato that it is soft, because it kind of starts splitting, and it's ready by now. I want to make sure that all the pieces are soft. There is a little bit of resistance in one piece. So, all right. So what we are going to do now, I will tell you what we'll add to it once we process it, and then let's see. Okay, I think it's good to go. So let's take our food processor. In this instance, we have a nice blender. So we'll take a ladle. Okay, let me take it here. It will be easier. All right. Okay, so you can always add some more water if you feel that the soup is too thick for you. But I like a thick soup, and I think that it will work just fine for us. Just remember that when you are doing things in a blender, that when your soup is hot, you have to either cool it, or you have to put smaller quantity, because you don't want it to explode. Okay, So let's cover it, and we'll put it on. Okay. Okay, lovely color. We'll put it for now into this pot. Then we'll add the rest. Okay. To scrape all the good stuff. Okay. Process the rest. All right. As you see, when you increase the speed, that you also increase the volume jumps up. So that's why you have to be careful. Otherwise, your lid will explode on you. So be careful when you are doing this, and maybe leave a little bit of space here. Okay. Okay. That was too high. Okay. All right. As you see, I was teaching you a lesson that I just learned myself and created a big mess, but we can all laugh together, right? Okay, so now you will add your, if you don't want to have a lot of cleanup and lose some of your food, don't do what I just did. So add the spinach. You'll have 2 cups of spinach and 2 cups of cilantro. That is together with the tender stems. And let's try to avoid what I just did, not to have it. Okay, so this is the speed. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay. Okay, so you want it pureed nicely. I like grating a little bit of lemon zest. It always has a lot of wonderful aroma and will add to the flavor of your soup. I also will add a little bit of cayenne that will add spiciness, and it's also really good for you. It makes your blood run faster. And then you can taste it. Okay. All right, so let's taste it and see if we are satisfied. Lemon juice is also something that goes into this soup. It has so much aroma. Of course, I'll add lemon juice off the camera. I didn't manage to do it here because I have to wrap up. So wonderful that you joined me today. I hope you don't make my mess. And eat this delicious, flavorful food and detox your body. Thank you for joining me. See you next time. Support for this program is provided in part by Guido's Fresh Marketplace.